This is Scott Becker with the Becker Private Equity Business Podcast. Today's discussion is the job market versus the stock market. And this is fascinating because these two things work for a while, almost like a pendulum or a seesaw, that as the job market gets worse and people find it harder to get a job and there's more layoffs, the stock market goes up. And this seems ironic and contradictory because you would think the worse the economy is, the worse the stock market would do. But in reality, that's not exactly how it works, because as jobs get tighter, as there's more layoffs, more unemployment, that puts more pressure on the Fed to start to reduce interest rates, which is generally viewed as juice and positivity for the stock market. So for a while, there's a contradiction. There's a pendulum. The job market gets worse, the stock market goes up. It's one of the great ironies of our economy, and really a great reality of how much this is controlled by federal monetary policy, the valuations of the stocks. So what's bad for job seekers can be good for investors. A person loses his job, horrible, absolutely horrible, and we see that more and more. Everybody probably knows now somebody who either has lost a job or is at risk of losing a job. One of our closest friends recently lost their jobs, and we see that closer and closer to home. Now, for a short period of time, that's juice for the stock market. It leads the stock market up. But the people should remember that sooner or later, these things get closer in sync. If the job market really tanks, then you're up in a situation where overall the economy tanks. And sooner or later, no matter how much federal stimulus there is, the stock market's going to come down some too. The flip side being, for some period of time, we do so much federal deficit spending, which is its own disaster, we'll talk about separately, that sort of artificially inflates everything for a while. Thank you for listening to the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast. Two other notes. Any comments, text me at 773-766-5322. Second, feel free to buy our book, Blocking and Tackling, 60 Keys to Building a Business and Managing Your Money. That's available on Amazon. Thank you for listening to the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast.